All right, I'm gonna do a what I got, a 1,470 mile review on the Rad Rover. I bought it so I could commute back and forth to work on it, and that was a 24 mile each way ride with a couple good climbs on the way back home, and it was great. I would ride it on Power 5 the whole way to work and the whole way back home, and it'd get me there pretty quick, so that was great. I wanted to see how long it would take me to pay for the bike with the money I was saving and not driving my big four-wheel drive truck, which didn't get that great a mileage, so I thought it would be pretty quick. By the way, Rad Rover wasn't really made for trails like this, but I'm gonna work on the trail up here. So anyways, the problem I ran into was at 1,000 miles on the Rad Rover, my battery wouldn't get me all the way to work on Power 5 anymore. So I started running up to Power 4, and then it would progressively, getting, you know, less and less power. Then I was riding it, you know, on the way back home where I had the two big climbs. I had to go on Power 2 until I got to the climbs, and then I could kick it up to Power 5 and make the climbs, and then it was a short jog the rest of the way home. So I think I calculated it up that I had saved, oh my gosh, I'm actually forgetting what it was now, but I think it was like I'd saved like 500 bucks in gas, but then I needed a battery, and so a battery was 500 bucks. So I was like, oh, I'm never gonna pay off the bike by gas savings. So I was like, oh well, live and learn. So I use it now, same battery still. It'll get me to the 1,600 foot elevation climb in a really quick time compared to pedaling up. Pedaling up, it takes me 42 to 46 minutes average climbing up it on a regular mountain bike. But on the Rad Rover, I get up here in 12 to 15 minutes. Yeah, it really lays down the power. It's pretty cool. But I'm gonna work on this trail. This is a Troy Lee trail in Corona, California. It is super rough and steep and not really made for, this bike's not really made for that. But it does get me up here and get me to the spots that I need to get to work on it. So that's what I use it for, and it works great for it, because I can bring like one of those little army shovels, and yeah, you can see it's really rutted. Got some narrow spots, stumps. Whoop. Rocky. There's a guy who's going to be coming down behind me. Greg. He was on his way up, pedaling up on his mountain bike. So I got to make sure I get out of his way, because he'll be rolling down a bit quicker than this. Pedal, get that burst. I did crash on this bike up here once, but it was funny because it was on the big fire road on the way up, but I was riding it back down it, and I thought I would go back to my days as a kid and do a big power slide around the corner, you know, like you did when you were on your little Stingray. And I got into the corner and leaned the bike over and went to pitch the back end out, and all I got pitched out was the front end right out from under me. And before I knew it, I was sliding on the ground. but it's all good. Yeah, this is such a nice improvement right here. That was a good one I did. Now we're, oh, let's see, where am I? Oh, this way. Oh yeah, this is it. Dang. Well, this is where I'm working. Yeah, isn't that a lovely looking trail? I'll be riding back down. Like I said, this bike wasn't really, I think, designed for this kind of trails. Been doing some work on this one so we don't have to run down that rut. Cross over here. Cross over here. Made it. But it's a good bike. Durable. I think it's really well built. I haven't had any issues with anything on it. Had to replace the brake pads one time. And this is actually the first ride on the new brakes, so I got 1,400 miles out of that original set of brakes. If I was doing this kind of riding all the time, I would have went through the brakes faster, because this is pretty steep and pretty heavy on the brakes. Oh, it's getting so chunky. Even on my full suspension mountain bike, this section is a little trying. All right, we will take the road the rest of the way down. Whew. So, overall view, impression of the Rad Rover, it's a darn good bike. You know, batteries aren't, I guess, made to last forever. And they're darn expensive. If you're going to ride this bike off-road, trails kind of like that more, you would need some wider handlebars. I was running this tubeless for a while with the Fatty Stripper tubeless kit, and I put these Jumbo Jims on. I had them on one of my fat bikes. Everybody said, oh, Jumbo Jims, they're the best. And so I bought them, put them on, and man, I was really disappointed in them. Like on this, because I was riding it up here, and on these steep trails down, just no braking at all. So I ended up putting a set of Maxxis DHR and a DHF on that fat bike, and what a difference. It was really good. And I had finally just worn out the tires that came on this bike originally, so I put these on, but man, I could not get that bead to set tubeless. So I'm running tubes now with sealant in the tubes. We'll see how that works. So for your value for your dollar, I'd give the Rad Rover 5 stars, you know, thumbs up. It's been dependable and durable. I put it through more than I think a lot of people would put it through, hitting these trails with it and commuting it back and forth to work on Power 5 the whole way. So it's been really good. I have really no complaints about it. Good bike. GoPro, stop recording. One last trail on the Rad Rover. This is short stuff. It's called short stuff. It's not bad, kind of rocky. This bike should be all right on it. Grab it. Bump, bump, ba bump, ba bump. Yeah, some wider handlebars would be nice if you're doing this all the time as a trail bike. Bum 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 bum. Morning. And that was it. So, Rad Rover, I give it a 5-star, thumbs up. Good bike, good value. GoPro, stop recording.